Now at 9, a man is sentenced in the case of a dog shot with an arrow in Knoll, Missouri. Plus, why KDOT is shutting down its project to build a US 69 corridor through southeast Kansas. And the Neosho School District teams up with area first responders to practice active shooter drills.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tanya Bach. The Kansas Department of Transportation says it is stopping work on the US 69 corridor western alignment through Crawford County. The project would expand an 18-mile corridor of US 69 to a 4-lane freeway, starting at the Cherokee-Crawford County line and continuing north of the city of Arma. It would have led traffic around many towns in the area, which led to a lot of pushback from residents and public discussions. KDOT says that pushback is the reason they're stopping that plan. They'll conduct a new survey to figure out the next steps later in the year. We had quite a busy evening with storms. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at the weather.
Yeah, but I didn't load my graphics, so we're gonna hang on one second. All righty. I think it's gonna pull up. There we go. All right, 82 for a high today. So the cloud showers and thunderstorms kept our temps down just a little bit. We had a round during the morning, and then we had some severe storms during the evening hours, mainly along and south of the I-44 corridor. But things are really starting to clear out now. It looks pretty good across the region. Not a whole bunch is going on. All these storms are working out of here. Now you can see these green boxes. Those are flash flood warnings due to the heavy amounts of rain that we did see. But at least all the storms are out of here. But look at the rainfall amounts. This is pretty impressive. Late last night through the morning over towards Chanute, we had upwards of 4 inches of rain. Another pocket of 3, 4, 5 inches of rain from Jasper County over toward Mount Vernon. So rain that we greatly needed across the entire area. What's going to happen next? We'll talk about that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. The Knoll, Missouri man accused of shooting a dog with an arrow pled guilty in that case today and has been sentenced. Authorities say while they could not prove that Jeffrey Howard shot the dog with the arrow, they could prove he did not seek medical attention for it. So Howard pleaded guilty to failure to get medical care for a dog. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and must pay $500 in restitution to a Knoll Animal Rescue. Well, the dog, named Noelle, has since recovered from the incident. She and her puppies were put up for adoption shortly after. Well, a traffic stop turns into a drug bust for a Chautauqua, Kansas resident. Her name is Jennifer Lee Williams. Early this morning, Parsons police initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle near the on-ramp junction of US Highway 59 and US 400. During the stop, authorities conducted a search of the vehicle, which yielded drug paraphernalia and illicit substances. Williams was taken into custody. Parsons Police Department has submitted a formal request for multiple charges. It was only a drill, but it was meant to look and feel like the real thing. An active shooter simulation in Neosho, Missouri today was a joint exercise involving first responders from multiple agencies. The idea was to allow responder agencies to evaluate current procedures and make needed improvements for possible real-world events.
Active shooters, basically. We've had some suicidal scenarios, active shooter. Basically, we've had wounded people, actors playing as wounded people, hostage rescue sort of thing. Communications is always a big issue between different agencies, and that's what they're working on to try to perfect, to make sure we can get through this if something ever happens, God forbid.
In addition to the Sheriff's Office, participants in the exercise included police, fire, and ambulance workers from various communities in the county, along with the Missouri Highway Patrol. Well, today is the last day of activities for Pittsburgh's annual Corporate Challenge. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked with a local business about their participation in the challenge.
Mahomes, construction workers, and lumberjacks are out for the final day of Pittsburgh's Corporate Challenge. One event is at Main Street Axe Throwing Company, but there's more events all over town.
Also at the same time what's going on is Talent Night at McCarthy's. We have Cornhole at 5th Street, and we have billiards down at Opie's.
The challenge is to get the community out for activities that promote team building and employee engagement. Last year, about 4 local businesses participated, but this year, there's 8 in total.
Like I said, tonight we're partnering with, I think, 4 different businesses tonight. And then we also partner with like Four Oaks Golf Course. We do bowling, so that goes to the bowling alley here. We try to stay local with everything.
One of the businesses participating is Main Street Axe Company. They hope this challenge would encourage the community to check them out.
Members of the community to experience our store before maybe they come in with their families or friends.
With one location in Pittsburgh for 5 years and another one in Joplin for 4, Main Street Axe Company says support like this from the community is impactful.
The Pittsburgh and Joplin communities are very supportive of Main Street Axe Company. We love working with them. Events like today is just, speaks of the support that the city has for us and other businesses that are participating in this week's event.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The city of Pittsburgh wants to remind you that shopping local all year benefits the community. Well, coming up, a COVID spike with a new strain.
The CDC sounds the alarm about a new COVID variant driving up hospitalizations. I'm Lucas Tomlinson in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
A new study by the maker of the popular weight loss drug Wegovy finds the medication could lower the risk of serious and even deadly heart problems. The drug maker Novo Nordisk says its trial involved more than 17,000 overweight and obese adults, 45 and older, with cardiovascular disease and no history of diabetes. Results show that Wegovy can reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, or heart-related death by 20%.
I think this really shows that obesity is a disease. This is not just about a lack of willpower, not exercising enough. And if you really do want to reduce risk of heart attack and stroke, we need to be addressing obesity.
The study could help persuade insurers to pay for the drug, which costs about $1,300 a month. But health experts say more research needs to be done. The new COVID-19 variant is growing its number of cases in the U.S., but the White House is not sounding the alarm just yet. Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson has more from Washington.
The CDC releasing new data on the current COVID spike, and the trends are not positive. Hospitalizations are ticking up across the country, increasing more than 12% in the past week. The agency says it's being driven by a new variant, EG5, which now makes up a plurality of COVID-19 cases in the United States. Right now, only about 18% of infections stem from EG5, but doctors are expecting that percentage to increase quickly because the new strain is more contagious.
That one appears to be more infectious, meaning people are more likely to get it.
Despite the increase, the Biden administration has not issued any new guidance or revived the COVID-19 response team. And last week, White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients told federal agencies to prioritize getting employees back to work in person, citing a number of experts who say the new spike isn't being fueled by a return to the office.
This is likely based on a combination of summertime and people are getting together, travel, a lot of engagement.
Meanwhile, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are pushing the feds to restore funding for COVID testing, claiming the private market isn't stepping up and the need is greater now than it has been for months.
Right now, it is not available. Private insurance has withdrawn the coverage.
The CDC says it will issue recommendations soon for a new COVID booster ahead of an expected winter surge. It's not clear how many people will want to take it. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Women who drank sugary drinks are at a higher risk for liver cancer and chronic liver disease. A study of nearly 100,000 postmenopausal women published in JAMA Network found those who drank at least one sugary drink per day saw a significantly higher risk for developing liver disease. Chronic liver disease accounts for about 55,000 deaths a year in the U.S., according to the CDC. Well, you don't need to walk very much to get a big health benefit. A study published by the European Society of Cardiology found walking around 4,000 steps a day is enough to reduce the risk of death. And you only need about 2,300 steps a day to reduce your chance of dying from the heart disease. But experts say it seems clear the more steps you take, the better it is for your health. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later we continue our high school football previews. John Dales shows us how Monette is playing to its strength with a young team.
Well, pretty much everybody got showers and thunderstorms sometime during the day for us today. We had the big round during late last night into the morning hours, and then of course some severe thunderstorms along and south of the I-44 corridor as we worked into the afternoon and evening hours. All clear now, looks pretty good, nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, rainfall amounts, it was a wide range across the region. Officially at the airport, a little over a half an inch. And this is in Joplin. For the month, just shy of 2 inches, but we're still 9.5 inches behind where we should be for this time of the year. All right, Monette 70, 69 at Grand Lakes, 74 in Pittsburgh. We have 78 in Neodesha. We can go outside 7th and Rangeline. Currently sitting at 74. Winds are pretty much calm. The clouds are starting to break up across the region. All right, so if we go back through time, we had thunderstorms that built in late last night, some strong storms that pushed through, thunderstorms through the morning, then a break, and then look at these guys, fire right up along the I-44 corridor and push south and east over the past several hours. And these are working out of here, so working into north central parts of Arkansas. So we look pretty good at this point in time. You can see this upper level wave. There's another one building up in Idaho, which will affect us Friday night, so 2 nights away. All right, let's go through time for us tonight. We drop back mid-60s, pretty good night, and then near 80 by the time we get to the noon hour. Most of us are going to top out upper 80s, so 84-ish, Nevada 85, Neosho 87, and Miami 88, and Parsons near 90 once you get out toward Fredonia. Tomorrow night looks okay. Get some clouds in here. We drop back into the upper 60s for overnight lows, and then Friday we start to heat back up into the mid-90s. Now, we could get an isolated thunderstorm as we head into Friday afternoon, but a better shot Friday night. So here's midnight, bands of showers and thunderstorms trying to push through into Saturday morning. So that's our next decent shot to get showers and thunderstorms across the region. All right, day planner on you Thursday, 68 to start, 81 by noon, 87 by 4, high temp, 87, 88 degrees by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. Let's head into the weekend. I think we'll get another batch of showers and thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then Sunday it clears out, and then most likely another batch Sunday night into Monday morning. So we do have rounds of showers and thunderstorms which will affect us, and then we start to heat back up and kind of dry out as we go through next week. All right, let's go 87 tomorrow, back to 95 on Friday, 94 Saturday, 93 on Sunday. Those overnight bands of showers and thunderstorms. 97 on Wednesday, 90 on Thursday, and then near 100 on Friday and Saturday. So it is going to get hotter, but not too extreme hot, at least over the next several days, which is good.
It's been a while since we've had a forecast that didn't have like the triple digits in there, at least at some point.
We're going to push it though.
I see some 80s.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
I like it. I see some 60s at night, even better.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, the summer heat leads to a spike in utility bills.
Americans are handing over more cash to stay cool this summer. I'm Casey Siegel in Dallas. We'll tell you how much people are paying up next.
Well, it's another week of triple-digit temperatures for people across the South, but this summer's extreme heat is impacting more than just the mercury. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Siegel has more.
A little bit over $100. $387, I want to say.
$400 this month.
And they're not alone. Folks across the country are seeing utility bills jump by about 11% during this extreme heat.
It's been pretty bad this year. Yeah, can't wait for it to end.
By the time summer ends, the National Energy Assistance Directors Association estimates people in the Southwest will have paid the most, more than $700. The West Coast handing over the least amount of cash at just under $500.
That's going to harm people's budget. They're no longer going to be able to buy other things that bring them more value and more joy.
But this year's heat has been especially hard on certain groups. According to USA Today, there has been a 15% increase in utility shutoffs among low-income Americans. Federal data shows only 19 states and Washington, D.C. prevent these cuts during heat waves. The elderly also trying to deal with those rising costs. Advocacy groups say some seniors don't have enough money to spend, and the extreme heat is forcing them to make tough decisions about what they buy.
Seniors sometimes on a very fixed income have to decide, am I going to go buy groceries or get this medication, or am I going to be able to pay for these household expenses?
And still no relief in sight, with forecasters expecting temperatures across the South to remain extremely high for the rest of this month. That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Well, millions of Americans hope to become a billionaire off of the Mega Millions, and someone did. One winning ticket for last night's jackpot was sold at a Publix in Neptune Beach, Florida. And the jackpot was worth an estimated $1.58 billion, the largest in the lottery's history. Up next, we'll meet a cyclist who's going for gold, all while looking over his shoulder. An Alaskan biker is gaining notoriety because he likes to ride backwards. It may seem weird, but Will Walker says it's actually easier and good for quad muscles. Walker first started riding bicycles this way 10 years ago. Now he just finished a 500-mile bike race across the state of Iowa. He was with 30,000 other riders, but he was the only one to do it looking over his shoulder. And it could be a world record. He submitted it to Guinness World Records for longest distance riding backwards on a bike. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Why the Branson Board of Aldermen has approved restricting drag shows in its downtown district. Plus, what a Baxter Springs business is doing with all of its extra merchandise now that it's closing down.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a kind of a wet day across the region. Showers, thunderstorms late last night into the morning hours, then a round of severe thunderstorms for us, strong to severe during the evening hours along and south of I-44. So kind of a wild day weather-wise, especially for the month of August. All right, Indigo Sky Casino and Resorts. It looks pretty good right now. Rainfall about a half an inch, just shy of 2 inches is where we sit for the year. Average is 29. We're only at 19.81, so we have a pretty good deficit, but we'll definitely take any rain that we can get. 75 in Stockton, 68 feels great in Anderson, 75 in Carthage, 71 in Miami, 77 is where we sit in Chanute. We can go outside. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline sitting at 74. Winds are pretty much calm, and they're going to stay fairly light as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. All right, let's go back in time to last night. Look at these storms. Very strong storms this morning, scattered thunderstorms through the morning hours. Then we heat up, and here comes our line of strong to severe storms during the evening hours. And now all these are gone, pushing into north central Arkansas, pretty much away from us. So we are pretty quiet. You can see this upper level wave right here, the little kink in the arrows. And if you follow it all the way back up into Montana, that's our next wave that will give us chances for showers and thunderstorms Friday night. So 2 nights away. Until then, we're not going to have a whole bunch of action. All right, let's go through time. We're going to go through the overnight hours tonight. We're going to stop at 7 a.m. Look at this, mid-60s, so a great start. By the noon hour, plenty of sunshine. We're going to be warming right around 80 degrees. As we go through the afternoon, a few little clouds, temperatures 87, 88, 89 degrees for highs. Tomorrow night looks pretty good again. We drop back near 70 for an overnight low, upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Then as we go into Friday, we could get an isolated thunderstorm or two, but most of us will stay dry. But we do heat back up. We go into the mid 90s for highs. Then Friday night, we'll have chances for showers and thunderstorms to move back in. So here's about midnight, bands of showers, even some thunderstorms kind of pushing through, especially the southern half of the region. And then I do think these are going to stick around into Saturday morning. And then we look pretty good, but additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms Saturday night. Day planner for you tomorrow, 68 to start, 81 by noon, 87 by 4, high temp, about 87, 88 degrees, depending on where you live. But Thursday, shaping up pretty good. All right, 87 tomorrow, 95 on Friday. Hit miss storm, but a better chance for thunderstorms Friday night. Saturday, 94, again, thunderstorms Saturday night, and then again Sunday night. So we are going to get some additional rounds of thunderstorms pushing in as we head into the weekend.
At least we have a nice day set for tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be great.
We'll take that. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, a state of emergency on the Hawaiian island of Maui, where multiple wildfires are burning. Fox News senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse has the story.
Flames engulf the popular tourist town of Lahaina in West Maui. Reports indicate the town is completely destroyed. The fire, one of 3, sparked on Tuesday that quickly spread across the island with the help of winds from Hurricane Dora.
We drove past a couple of small fires on the way down and a lot of downed trees. So a little bit of a disaster zone, kind of like something from a movie, a lot of smoke.
Fast-moving flames forcing residents to scramble to safety. This includes 14 who were rescued by the Coast Guard after jumping into the ocean to escape the smoke and flames.
This is not a safe place to be. On certain parts of Maui, we have shelters that are overrun. We have resources that are being taxed.
Maui's main hospital reports several burn patients and others suffering from smoke inhalation.
We've had 6 fatalities that we were able to confirm, and we are still in a search and rescue mode.
Early Wednesday, Hawaii declared a state of emergency and called in the National Guard to help. This as Maui fire crews work on controlling the flames amid high winds and blocked roadways from downed trees and power lines. Power on the island also spotty, with some 15,000 in the dark. Thousands of tourists have already been evacuated to Oahu, and others remain stuck at the airport due to flight changes and hotel closures. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Coming up in sports, Monette High School football looks to its younger players for leadership. Plus, the AJGA Junior Championship comes to Joplin. John Dales has those stories and more after the break.
78 of the best junior golfers from across the country and around the world are making their way to Joplin this week to participate in the AJGA Junior Championship at Twin Hills Country Club in Joplin. The field consists of 12 to 19-year-old players that are primarily competing in order to obtain scholarships to college. The tournament runs through Friday. It's 54 holes with the first 18 happening today. The AJGA has a long history of producing some of the best to join the Pro Tour, like Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. And the Joplin Sports Authority, which was instrumental in bringing this tournament to the area, is grateful to see years of hard work paying off.
It's been a 2-year process. A few years back, we contacted AJGA, and they were then responding with us, and we've had several meetings about it in the process and had to really work with Twin Hills to make sure it happened, because it really need them to be on board, and they thought it was a great idea, but it was a 2-year process to really get this thing off the ground.
The AJGA is an elite level, we say high school, but it's 12 to 19-year-olds in total, elite level junior golf. We have had quite a few big names, as you mentioned, so a couple of them, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Scotty Scheffler, some of the most recent ones that are on tour, but pretty much everybody you see on the PGA Tour and Korn Ferry kind of came through the AJGA at some point.
Meanwhile, another day means another visit to a local high school football practice in Missouri. For most schools in the area, today marks another first. That'd be the first day in full pads. And one of the schools excited to hit each other is the Monette Cubs. They're coming off a sub-500 season that did include a playoff win. And this year's Monette team, very young, after 20-plus seniors graduated this past spring. For second-year head coach Ethan Lewis, this early part of the season is about setting and achieving small goals.
You know, for these guys, I just want them to get better each week. I know that's very cliche to say, but for us, it's being young. I think understanding that there's a process and that we're going to continue to get better, I think it's very important, and that's my goal this week, or this year.
Being the leader I have to be, you know, for such a young class we are, keeping that ability to keep up with this team and really showing that we're really young, but we can be really good.
And in pro baseball, both the Cardinals and Royals in action tonight, each of them on the road at AL East opponents. We're beyond the deadline, and no surprise when I say that Kansas City and St. Louis, they're each not competing for a playoff spot this year. Players still trying to win, though. That didn't work out tonight for the Royals, unfortunately. They fall 4-3 to the Red Sox at Fenway. MJ Melendez and Freddie Fermin each homer in the loss. They get back at it to finish out the series tomorrow in Boston. Things go better for the Cardinals down in Tampa. They take down the Rays 6-4. Nice day for designated hitter Lars Nootbaar. He goes 2 for 5, tacked on a big insurance run with a 7th inning solo homer. Cards go for the series win tomorrow night. Back to the golf event, though. Pretty cool just to think that the future stars of tomorrow are playing in Joplin right now and to show really how good they were. 2 holes in 1 today out of the 78 players. Yeah.
Do you know if there were any from our area that were competing?
There were. I think it was a split of, there was like 17 Missouri kids in the field.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope they did well. All right. We'll be right back. Major electric vehicle technology maker Proterra is filing for bankruptcy. Hydrogen-powered vehicles were once thought of as the future, and they could make a comeback as concerns grow over electric cars. Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble has details.
Before battery electric vehicles, some automakers and politicians pumped up hydrogen cars as the eco-friendly heir apparent to gas-powered vehicles.
So that the first car driven by a child born today could be powered by hydrogen and pollution-free.
While that prediction isn't impossible today, battery EV sales far outpace sales of hydrogen fuel cell cars. There are only 2 models on the market in the U.S. right now, the Hyundai Nexo and the Toyota Mirai, with growing questions over whether America's power grid can accommodate an all-battery EV future, and mounting concerns about China's control over most of the raw materials needed to power them. Companies like Toyota are continuing to look at hydrogen fuel cell cars.
I specifically have been working on this technology for 20 years, and this is the first time I can see this level of investment and excitement in the industry.
One of the biggest draws of fuel cell vehicles, they can turn the most abundant element in the universe into electricity with only water vapor as a byproduct, no pollution. But critics like Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who's called them fool cells, argue they're inefficient, that hydrogen is too expensive, and that hydrogen fuel stations are hard to come by. You can see on this map of stations why Toyota and Hyundai only sell their fuel cell vehicles in California. This, Kelley Blue Book executive editor Brian Moody says, illustrates one of the biggest roadblocks for these cars.
If we feel the need to give electric cars all of these outs by saying, oh, one day it's going to be great, one day it's going to fuel up fast, then let's give hydrogen the same benefit of the doubt. Let's say that it's going to catch up with everything else.
Some automakers envision a future where hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and battery EVs all share the road with fuel cell vehicles. Several are also investing a lot of money into research and development of semi-trucks that run on hydrogen. In Washington, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Chrysler is recalling nearly 45,000 vehicles because their airbags may not deploy properly. The problem is a piece of interior trim that could interfere with the airbag. Affected vehicles include current and last year model Jeep Wagoneers and Grand Wagoneers. Any Chrysler dealer can inspect the vehicles and correct the problem at no charge. Coming up, we'll learn how the hosts of MasterChef are celebrating the show's 250th episode. It was a special occasion on Fox's MasterChef tonight. Chef Aaron Sanchez joins us to talk about the show's big milestone episode and helping upcoming talent realize their culinary dreams. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
We celebrate our 250th episode.
It's a sweet milestone for MasterChef as the show marks the 250th episode with a challenge of replicakes.
So this particular challenge, I think, really goes to the core of people's fears of baking and replicating cakes. And I love that because it's so insightful and it brings out the best or the worst.
Nailed it!
How much higher are your expectations as a judge compared to when you first start the season with this group?
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, for us, we get a lot more critical as we go on because the idea is that you're getting the experience, you're getting our critiques, you're getting a lot of our MasterChef classes. They're helping you progress.
Chef Aaron Sanchez shares how MasterChef stands out as a culinary competition show.
I think the biggest differentiator is that we mentor. You're with us for 6 weeks. So you're going to walk away with valuable techniques, valuable lessons, and also confidence to go chase your culinary dreams, regardless if you win.
These days, he's also helping upcoming talent through the Aaron Sanchez Impact Fund, and scholarship applications for the class of 2024 just opened.
You get a top-notch culinary education at Milky, which is in New Orleans. It's an experience. It's an 11-month program, and it's with identifying young Latino youth. So that sweet spot of 21 to 24, 25. That you really want to go chase your dreams. So it's very much in line with MasterChef. It's just that matrix.
If it's too soft, it's going to slide.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We leave you with video of a rare white raccoon in China. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.